Right now, from policy sessions to practice runs, the Trump and Harris campaigns gear up for tomorrow's presidential debate. A look at their strategies. Plus, more students can hit the road thanks to a new DOT program, how this could help reduce reckless driving. And new details emerge on the suspect in the Georgia school shooting, what the boy's family was saying before the shooting. All ahead on News 3 Now at 10. The first and possibly only debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump is less than a day away now, and the stakes are high. Skylar Henry has the latest from Washington.
After days of preparation, Vice President Kamala Harris arrived in Philadelphia, where she and former President Donald Trump will face off in Tuesday night's debate.
I think he's going to lie. There's no floor for him in terms of how low he will go. And we should be prepared for that. We should be prepared for the fact that he is not burdened by telling the truth.
The highly awaited event could change the course of the election, with the candidates now neck and neck in recent polls.
Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, all razor tight. These are all within the margin of error, effectively even.
A newly released Trump campaign memo says in part, quote, now that our honeymoon is over, the debate will be the first time Kamala will answer tough questions. In doing so, Kamala Harris will be revealed to America as a radical left lunatic. This new video the Harris campaign released shows former Trump administration officials criticizing their former boss.
Anyone who puts themselves over the Constitution should never be president of the United States. It should come as no surprise that I will not be endorsing Donald Trump this year.
In a conference call, Trump campaign advisor Jason Miller said the former president will go after Harris on issues including border security, foreign policy, and inflation. Harris has been practicing on a stage with lights, sparring with former Hillary Clinton aide Philippe Reines, who is standing in as Trump, and even dressing like him. Trump is holding policy sessions with a small team of advisors, including Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz and former Democratic presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Sources familiar with Harris's debate preparation tell CBS News the vice president is watching former President Trump's debate performances over the past 3 election cycles. Meanwhile, new poll numbers show a tight presidential race in Wisconsin. It comes from Platform Communications. Kamala Harris has a lead over Donald Trump, but still within the margin of error, and that's at the top of the ticket. We also have many important down-ballot races in Wisconsin. With new district lines, Democrats may have a chance to take back the state assembly, and these are the lawmakers who determine policies from how much state funding your local schools get to abortion protection in Wisconsin.
I have to caution that you can't necessarily take that number and say, well, that's what it's going to be in this district, this district, this district. Each of those districts has their own set of candidates. They're going to have their own comparison being made. They're going to have their own spending going on. So you have to be careful. But what that shows is it shows that the Democrats do have a little bit of an advantage going in.
The other notable part of this poll is that it asked voters to self-identify by socioeconomic background. Those who identify as working class generally support Republicans in local assembly races. Middle-class voters say they support Democrats in these races. A federal appeals court will decide tomorrow whether to pause former President Trump's hush money case. Trump's lawyers asked a federal judge to move the case from state to federal court after the Supreme Court ruled on presidential immunity, but the judge denied that motion, and now Trump is appealing that decision. A ruling on whether to pause the trial comes just days after New York Judge Juan Merchan delayed Trump's sentencing until after the November election. A look now at your first warn forecast. Here's meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Jacob?
Thanks, Eric. It was a very nice day for the most part. Definitely a little bit warm, but the air was certainly dry, which caused the feels-like temperatures to be pretty much the exact same as the actual temperatures. Right now, 68 degrees in Madison, mostly clear skies. Looking across Dane County, cooler in the western half of the county. Right now in the upper 50s, upper 60s for the eastern half of the county. And across the area, we're mostly in the upper 50s to the 60s. Actually, temperatures have warmed up over the last hour in Madison. It was 65 degrees at 9. Now it's 68 degrees. But overall, we are going to see temperatures dropping into the 50s overnight. Looking at the high temperatures from today, though, right around 80 degrees, so certainly above average, which is right around 75 degrees for this time of year. Actually a bit cooler further south and west, but most of our area saw those temperatures right around 80. So overnight, low temperatures will be dropping into the middle 50s. We'll see mostly clear skies. Temperatures a little bit mild, but overall pretty normal for the overnight lows that we normally see this time of year. But temperatures are going to continue to get warmer as we look at the forecast for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be similar, but Wednesday and Thursday are especially going to be warm. However, we are going to stay dry, partly sunny skies throughout the day tomorrow, but We're also going to see partly sunny skies for Wednesday and Thursday as temperatures continue to warm up. I'll talk about just how warm they will get coming up a little bit later.
Jacob, thank you. And today we're officially starting our 39th annual Coats for Kids campaign. News 3 Now teaming up once again with Clinky Cleaners, the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, Magic 98 to collect new or used children's-sized winter coats and other winter gear. Now, from now through October 5th, you can drop off kids' winter coats and accessories at any Clinky Cleaners location. All items will be dry cleaned for free before being sent to the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County for distribution. The goal is to collect 5,000 children's-sized winter coats. If you don't have a winter coat, you can still help by buying a coat off the Coats for Kids Amazon wish list. More than 11,000 Wisconsin teens will now have the chance to go through driver's education for free. It's thanks to a new grant program from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. Our Braden Ross has more from Janesville.
Most adults dread a trip to the DMV, but when you're 16 years old, this is one of the most exciting places in town. And now the Wisconsin Department of Transportation wants to make sure even more young people get to experience it.
Now serving I-523.
Most of these people are not excited to be here, but Carson Loveland is.
I passed with like 10 points, so pretty stoked about that.
He just got his driver's license, more than 40 hours of training and hundreds of dollars later.
$400 is not cheap in my household, at least.
Not cheap is right. Many Wisconsin families spend that or even more on driver's ed classes.
The average is probably $400 to $500 for behind the wheel. Then they might have like a $200 classroom course.
But thanks to a new grant program from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation, thousands of kids will no longer have to pay for it.
We calculated it out to be about 11,500 students that will potentially be able to apply for this program.
The brand new driver education grant program set aside $6 million to pay for classroom and behind the wheel training for Wisconsin teens that are eligible for or receiving free and reduced lunch.
The student gets a coupon and then they can bring it to their driver ed school.
Part of the goal is to help curb reckless driving while also getting more young people on the road.
To kind of do some safe driving, get some safe drivers out there. It's definitely not the whole problem, but it'll get some of a good running start at it.
But for kids like Carson, the real prize is this.
I'm stoked for those kids. I hope they're as excited as I am for getting their driver's license.
Reporting in Janesville, Braden Ross, News 3 Now.
The grant vouchers work at any DMV certified driver's ed provider. Now, to find out how to apply, just go to wisconsindmv.gov/DE grant. Investigators are trying to identify a man whose body was recovered from the Wisconsin River this morning. Now, the body was found less than 2 miles downriver from where a 24-year-old man went under back on September 1st. First responders were notified that the body had washed up on a sandbar. The Sauk County Sheriff's Office is now working to identify the man and notify his family. His name will be released at a later date. And we now know the identity of a woman found dead at the Dane County Jail last month. 46-year-old Valerie Kusha of Madison was found unresponsive in a housing unit in the jail. Life-saving efforts were unsuccessful. She was pronounced dead at the scene August 26th. Cause and manner of her death were not released. Additional testing is underway. The Dane County Sheriff's Office is investigating her death. New details continue to emerge about what happened at the Appalachia High School in Georgia after a deadly shooting took the lives of 2 students and 2 teachers. CBS News has learned the suspect's aunt says the teen's mother called the school a half hour before the shooting. She warned staff of an extreme emergency involving her son and urging a school counselor to immediately find him and check on him. CBS News also spoke with the alleged gunman's maternal grandfather.
Marcy got a text on the phone from Colt saying, "I'm sorry, Mother." And then we heard on the news of the shooting. He pulled the triggers. He killed people. And he's my grandson. And it breaks my damn heart.
The alleged gunman's maternal grandfather says his wife, the teen's grandmother, also visited the school the day before the massacre. She wanted to discuss the suspect's alleged behavioral issues. Well, tomorrow marks the start of the trial of 2 brothers charged in connection to a shooting in October of 2021. That shooting happened at a Madison gas station at Southview and Willie Streets, left 1 man hurt. 28-year-old LeVar Reed Jr. charged with attempted first-degree murder and armed robbery. His 26-year-old brother Varshawn Reed is charged with armed robbery. A criminal complaint says the shooting victim was under the impression he was meeting the younger brother to buy marijuana, but LeVar got in the victim's car and after the 2 struggled over a gun, shot the victim. Both brothers have pleaded not guilty. Jurors will be in the Dane County Courthouse for the trial at 1 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. Still ahead on News 3 Now at 10. We check back in with Jacob. A complete look at your forecast. Plus, one of Hollywood's most prolific actors has died. We remember the late, great James Earl Jones.
Gas, groceries, school supplies, everything costs more. Eggs are almost twice as much as they were 4 years ago. Biden, Harris, and the Democrats keep telling us things are better. They aren't better. And Tammy Baldwin is making it worse, raising taxes, running up debt, voting for spending that's driving inflation. 25 years in Washington and she's done nothing. It's time for a change.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. Find yours with Ford F-150. Gas, hybrid, or all-electric. Whether it's towing, powering up, or getting from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, what you choose to do with that much power is up to you. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Choose FlexBuy on F-150 and get 0.9% APR financing for 66 months, plus $2,000 FlexBuy cash and $1,000 low APR cash.
At DePaco, your health and happiness are as important to us as your financial well-being. So when you're ready to take the first step, we'll help you make a plan and transform it into a lifelong commitment. Well-being is the key to a life worth loving. So when you think about yours, remember that DePaco can help you be well.
Action! Get up to 60% off list prices on hundreds of items at the huge Labor Day sale at Slumberland Furniture.
Hurry, it's the final days. Just $3.95 to shake up your living room with a fresh new look. Get this power recliner for a steal, an upholster bed in 2 colors, or a super padded, family-friendly reclining sectional. And of course, totally free doorstep shipping with no minimum.
Up to 60% off at the huge Labor Day sale at Slumberland Furniture. Do not miss this one.
When replacing your windows, you want them to be built by the best and backed by the best. That's what you'll get with replacement windows only available from Renewal by Andersen. When you choose Renewal by Andersen at Wanakee Remodeling, you're not getting a one-size-fits-all product. From design and sales to manufacturing, installation, and service, we own the entire process. This month, buy 2 windows, get the third 60% off, plus 12 months no-interest financing when you purchase 3 or more windows. Visit WanakeeRemodeling.com for more details.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She'll do it with new ideas to make middle-class life more affordable. New caps on the price of medicine, new investments in clean energy to bring down costs for families. And while Trump will cut taxes for the super rich, she'll cut taxes for the rest of us. A stronger middle class, a future we can afford. LCV Victory Fund and FFPAC are responsible for the content of this ad.
Inflation is affecting everyone's bottom line this election year.
We haven't been making profit. We're just keeping the lights on.
I'm exposing the tough realities local small business owners are facing and what candidates can do to capture their votes. 3 for the People, Tuesday at 10.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10. Moving forward.
Actor James Earl Jones died today. His unmistakable voice rang out across galaxies far, far away as Darth Vader and elsewhere on the silver screen. And while his voice has now fallen silent, his impact on film will resound for a long time. CNN's Richard Roth looks back at Jones' life and career.
James Earl Jones was a physically imposing actor.
I take it back. You're not in trouble. You're dead where you stand. Join me.
But it will be Jones's voice that audiences will long remember. Luke Skywalker learned that in the Star Wars series.
No, I am your father. It became a big mystery. Who is that? Who is that inside the mask?
A different actor played Vader, but director George Lucas realized he needed a villain with a more sinister voice.
Called me and said, "You want to do a day's work?" And I said, "Yeah."
A day's work?
2.5 hours, you know.
That's all? All the Darth Vader language is in 2.5 hours?
Yeah, a few $1,000s, and I went home. A city destroyed. The key to Darth Vader is a narrow band of expression. No inflections. He's not human.
Father and son.
Jones returned to the role of the Imperial villain throughout his career, even at age 91 in the Disney Plus series Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You will suffer.
In another memorable voice-only role, Jones said just 3 words.
This is CNN.
What happened was that I did the Goodwill Games. They said, well, now can we do a CNN logo? And I came back for a separate session. It was so short. I mean, it took 5 minutes, right? And I forgot it.
What is unforgettable is that this powerful actor with the deep, authoritative voice had a speaking disability.
Stuttering was so embarrassing and really painful. I went mute from the age of 8 to 14.
Jones said a great teacher in high school who loved poetry helped him.
He discovered I wrote poetry, and he got me to read my poetry in front of the class, and when I did, I didn't stutter.
As a teenager, Jones wanted to be a military officer. He eventually ended up in an American nuclear bomber in his first movie role. The instructions: attack the Soviet Union in Dr. Strangelove.
Bomb door circuits, negative function.
A long list of screen roles would follow, including Roots.
I found you, Kunta Kinte.
The guests are waiting, Your Majesty. Let them wait!
Coming to America.
It'll be as if they dipped themselves in magic waters.
Field of Dreams. The Hunt for Red October.
Mother of God, we know he's escaped.
Patriot Games.
The sun will set on my time here.
And The Lion King. The stage, though, was his first love. Jones won a Tony Award in 1969 for The Great White Hope.
This is your wish coming true, huh?
Never this, Jones.
Nominated 2 for an Oscar in the movie version. Jones was part of an elite acting group. He won an Oscar, a Grammy, 3 Emmys, and 3 Tonys, including a Lifetime Achievement Award in 2017. Had he done it all in life?
I'm not sure if I want to do it all because, you know, death is okay. It is something that happens to all of us. And that's kind of glorious, isn't it?
Unforgettable voice. James Earl Jones was 93 years old. More warm temperatures for the rest of the week. We go to Jacob now. A complete look at the forecast.
Thanks, Eric. Here's a look at the 3 things you need to know going forward. We're going to continue to see plenty of sunshine through the work week with some pretty warm temperatures, especially considering the average high for this time of year, with our next chance of rain coming over the weekend. Now, as we take a look at the forecast for tomorrow, high temperatures will be right around 80. We'll see partly sunny skies. And as we look at the high temperatures going forward, we're going to be fairly warm Wednesday and Thursday, as highs will be in the middle to upper 80s. Now, after Thursday, temperatures won't be quite as warm, but still well above the average high, which is around 75 to 74 degrees this time of year. By the end of the 10-day forecast, it'll be 73, so we'll be well above that, as highs will be right around 80. Now, the good news is that because the air is going to be rather dry, the feels-like temperatures and the heat index values will be very similar to the actual temperatures. So Wednesday afternoon, the heat index values will be in the 80s, and that's going to be the case for Thursday as well. So although it will be warm, it's not going to feel nearly as warm as some of the earlier days in the summer where the heat index values were over 100. Now, as far as precipitation goes, the rest of the work week is expected to remain very dry. We are going to see an increase in the rain chances over the weekend, and the reason for that is Tropical Storm Francine that is right now in the Gulf. It is expected to strengthen into a hurricane as it pushes north, and New Orleans is the big city that is expected to get impacted the worst by this hurricane. There are hurricane warnings and tropical storm warnings right now on the coast. The good news is that it's only supposed to strengthen to around a Category 2, so we're not expecting major hurricane levels with this. But notice the track for us, it is going to push up north, but it also looks like it's going to fizzle out right around central and southern Illinois. So as we look at the precipitation throughout the rest of this week into the weekend, the heaviest rain will certainly be to the south of us, but even so, we're not expected to get much rain rain at all. Now, there is a possibility that this continues to push off to the north, but a lot of models are suggesting it really fizzles out around central southern Illinois, which will continue to bring dry weather for southern Wisconsin. Now, even if it does fizzle out, we still are expecting some rain over the weekend, but right now it is expected to be pretty light. So really going forward, we're going to continue to be dry with just a few small chances of rain over the weekend and then maybe towards the end of next week, as temperatures don't really change too much. Now, Wednesday and Thursday, they'll be in the middle to upper 80s, but for the rest of the 10-day forecast, we're talking about high temperatures right around 80 degrees. And at this point in time, there really is no end in sight to the warm temperatures or the very dry weather. Now, we'll see a little bit more rain next week, likely compared to this week, but still not much changing in the forecast.
Jacob, thank you. The Henry Vilas Zoo is excited to announce the birth of 4 meerkat pups born late last month, part of a breeding recommendation from the Species Survival Plan to help conserve the species. Meerkats can have anywhere from 1 to 8 offspring in a litter, but usually have 3 or 4. At birth, meerkat babies weigh about an ounce. The zoo has not yet determined the sex of the babies, who will have their first hands-on exam at around 8 weeks of age. Guests will most likely not be able to see much of the babies until later this month, when they are around 4 weeks old and begin to venture out more. The meerkat pups, along with the rest of the mob, reside in the Green Barn located in the Children's Zoo on the south side.
And still to come in sports, the Packers' next move at quarterback with Jordan Love on the sidelines. Next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I was a Kamala Harris supporter. That changed after an illegal alien murdered my son, running him over, then driving back and forth over Drew's body 3 times. The man who killed my son had been arrested previously, but Kamala Harris let him go. As San Francisco's DA, Kamala was soft on crime. As a senator, she supported releasing criminal aliens back into our neighborhoods. Kamala Harris is dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Shop from the largest selection of Chevy trucks and SUVs in Wisconsin at Bergstrom Chevrolet. All with Bergstrom's negotiation-free upfront pricing, including our exclusive 7-day price protection and money-back guarantees. Stop in or shop and purchase at BergstromChevrolet.com.
Get an 11% rebate on your roofing project now at Menards. We have an unbeatable selection of Atlas shingles. Castlebrook, Briarwood, and Pinnacle all feature a limited lifetime warranty, up to 130 miles per hour wind warranty, and a super wide design for fast installation. Choose from 20 styles in stock, ready to take home today. Get an 11% rebate on all Atlas shingles right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
It's a great time to have RG Heating and Air Conditioning check your home's furnace system for safety and efficiency. RG services all brands and installs quality Trane equipment to keep your home running smooth year-round. Call RG Heating and AC today.
Everyone deserves the fastest, most reliable internet speeds, regardless of where they live. That's why Spectrum offers the fastest speeds in more neighborhoods than any other provider. So switch to Spectrum and get a powerful network that connects nearly 500 million devices.
Switch to Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month with free modem, no data caps, and no contracts. Plus, save with our 2-year price guarantee when you level up to a gig. Call 1-855-735-1336 or scan to call.
With Spectrum Internet, you can power all of your devices to enjoy streaming, video chatting, and gaming with the most reliable internet speeds. Get a powerful network that millions of customers rely on. I rely on Spectrum Internet. You should too.
Switch to Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month with 99.9% network reliability, no added taxes or hidden fees, and no contracts. Plus, save with our 2-year price guarantee. Call 1-855-735-1336.
Call now.
I'm not old enough to vote yet, but I learned how 1 out of 6 of us will someday be raped.
So please, think about me when you vote. I learned how our freedom to have an abortion was taken away.
Even in cases of rape or incest.
Even to travel to get an abortion.
You know who got rid of Roe v. Wade. When you vote, please think about me.
Because the politician who got rid of Roe v. Wade,
he couldn't care less.
rivalries and games like this is what really kind of separates college football from everything else.
It has been 35 years since Wisconsin hosted a top 10 non-conference opponent at Camp Randall. But this weekend, that all changes when the Badgers play the game Luke Fickell said he first learned about the day after he took the job at Wisconsin. As fourth-ranked Alabama comes to Madison, a win would make for one of Wisconsin's biggest ever at home, but a loss, it could be just as impactful, because how can you ever beat the best if you never play them?
If you want to be the best and you want to compete with the best, then you got to play the best. And this just gives you that opportunity, regardless of what they're ranked, right? I couldn't even tell you that they were 4. But I know this, over the last 20 years, who's been the best team in college football, and there's no doubt it's been Alabama.
I'm looking forward to, putting this plan together this week and matching up with Alabama and see where we are to be a real good barometer for our football team.
The Packers decided not to put Jordan Love on the injured reserve today, with Matt LaFleur saying if and when he'll be cleared, he will play. But while he deals with his MCL sprain, Malik Willis has been named the Packers starting quarterback. And Sean Clifford, who the Pack drafted last year, has been named his backup. The Packers' next 3 games are manageable, but every single one is incredibly important, especially without Jordan Love, who will be working around the clock until he's back on the field.
But if he gets cleared, we'll give him every opportunity, like we always will. And, I know he's doing everything in his power. I know he's spending a lot of time trying to get back as soon as possible. But certainly we're not going to put him in a position where if he can't protect himself, that he'd go out there.
And week 1 of the NFL season wrapped up tonight with the 49ers and the Jets. San Fran won handily in Aaron Rodgers' first full game as a non-Packer. But look at this, Braylon Allen's first NFL touch. He becomes the youngest player in the Super Bowl era to have a touch in an NFL game. But the Niners, they win it 32-19. And some good news, all things considered, for former Wisconsin tight end Jake Ferguson. The Cowboys pass catcher suffered a knee injury in yesterday's season-opening win over Cleveland, but an MRI shows that it is just an MCL sprain. It is good news for Ferguson, who is considered week to week. And after 2 wins in the Big Ten, Big 12 Challenge, Wisconsin sits at 8th in the latest ABCA poll. The Badgers are one of 4 Big Ten teams ranked in the top 10. Their home opener is Tuesday when they welcome UW-Milwaukee into the Fieldhouse. We'll be right back.
I'm actually embarrassed to say that I did vote for Trump in 2016. I don't think the man can be trusted. He talks out of both sides of his mouth. He's a very dishonest person. I hate the way he disrespects women, the way he disrespects other people that have worked for him. He's a narcissist. I just don't see myself ever voting for Donald Trump. This is not my Republican Party any longer. I have to go with Kamala Harris.
Republican Accountability PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Are you searching for a fresh career? Then join the team at Chalk D Building Systems. We're expanding, now with 2 Sun Prairie locations, and we're looking for individuals to join our team as assemblers, material handlers, order pickers, and machine operators. Chalk D Building Systems competitive pay starts at $22 per hour plus comprehensive benefits. 3 shifts are available with overtime potential, and you'll become part of our 100% employee-owned team. Make your next career move on the careers page at chalkd.com.
Old windows? Compromise your home's comfort. Vinyl windows, a 1970s relic, aren't built for extreme weather. They warp and crack, becoming vulnerable to the elements. At Next Door and Window, we have the answer. Fiberglass. Our Ultrex fiberglass windows last up to 50 years, longer than any other window you can buy. And while other companies cut corners and never call you back, we've got your back. When you demand tomorrow's comfort, Next delivers. Visit nextwindow.com to learn more.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on.
capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor and the potential to take you anywhere. It's Chevy truck season. Get 1.9% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote that created America's inflation.
The vice president votes in the affirmative, and the bill is passed.
Economists said Harris's vote led directly to the higher prices we pay. 22% more for groceries, 50% more for gas. Mortgage costs nearly double. Thanks a lot, Kamala. Trump had our economy humming. He'll do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Donate kids' winter coats at Clinky Cleaners during Coats for Kids.
Finally, I made an enemies list. There's no guarantee I'll be arrested, but it's an honor just to be nominated.
There's new with Jim Parsons tonight on CBS.
Finally tonight, move over Ghosts and Goblins. This year's most popular Halloween costumes could be influenced more by pop culture than traditional lore. According to Google Trends, Beetlejuice is among the top searches. Tim Burton's horror comedy sequel Beetlejuice just hit theaters. It's already sparking costume inspiration. You can also expect to see a lot of Bad and Good Witches, an ode to the upcoming release of the movie adaptation of the Broadway musical Wicked. And breakdancer Ray Gunn, who became a viral sensation after performing at the Olympics, is a top search for costume ideas. Jacob's back as we take one final check of the forecast.
Yeah, overall pretty quiet. We are going to see some well above average temperatures, middle to upper 80s Wednesday and Thursday, right around 80 for the rest of the 10-day forecast. Really, we're not going to see any rainfall for the rest of this week. Could see some light rain over the weekend, maybe continuing to see some light rain for next week, but for the most part, we are going to remain fairly dry, but well above average. We normally see highs in the middle 70s this time of year, so anytime we're in the 80s, that's pretty well above average now.
All right, Jacob, thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10, folks. Have a great night.